Instacart, groceries that over-deliver. The National Hockey League on Sportsnet presents the Stanley Cup Playoffs.
Okay, Canada, you see what's happening here, right? It's late into May, and the Edmonton Oilers are giving you that same feeling. In this town, we don't need an alarm to wake up on a game day. We are faces painted, leaving work early, pre-game smashing, boots on the ground, loyal to the Oil. In a city rich in championship history, there's not one more important than the next one. When it's finally time and the lights go down, you best believe Oil Country is ready. Get out, scream! Yeah! We've got the motion! Come out to the new beat! Woo! We've got the motion! Come out to the new beat! Now sure, there will always be obstacles. You're not ever in a fight if you don't take a few shots. But having the scar tissue of past defeats is what drives the bus right now. Now the Dallas Stars are here for good reason. They're no stranger to this stage either. It's going to be a bar fight to the very end. Just know this town is always ready for these moments. And whether you agree or not, no one does it better than Edmonton. It's Game 4. Here we go.
This is Hockey Night in Canada on Sportsnet. We've got action for you here tonight.
He's got a stick. He's in. Scores!
Absolutely amazing. Hi, Hunter, and thank you, Tony Brar. A Brar Room Brawl. That's what we're getting ready for. Loyal to the Oil, ripe for the hype in Edmonton as we get set for Game 4. The Oilers lead the series 2-1. They're cooking with gas in that building. 5-1 in the playoffs, outscoring opponents 29-16 with Chris Knoblauch. Games 4 through 7, they're now 16-2, the Oilers. The Stanley Cup Playoffs on Sportsnet, presented by Instacart. Get groceries delivered in as fast as 60 minutes. And this will be a fast 60 minutes and maybe more. Let's get it right to the capital of Alberta. There's Gene Principe. Gene, to you.
Hey, Ron, thanks very much. Chris Knoblauch loves the job that he has, but he says the hardest part of it is telling good hockey players you are not going to play. And he told that to Victor Arvidsson in the Vegas series against the Golden Knights. But he had better news to provide to him today, and that Arvidsson will replace Connor Brown after the hit by Alex Petrovic. Matthias Ekholm not quite ready, even though he looks good in practicing with the Oilers. And Calvin Pickard, who was hurt in the series against Vegas, at least will be able to be the backup for Stuart Skinner tonight. Everybody's been wondering about Roope Hintz, and he did take warm-up. I would say at this point it looks like he'll play with Mikko Rantanen and Jason Robertson, but to be safe, instead of saying he's in, we'll say that he is probable. Pete DeBoer is as honest and as when it comes to the day of length of sun here in Alberta. He will tell you the truth about his team, and this is what he said. I don't think we're a light, fun bunch. I mean, those are some serious-looking faces, but what he did say is that this team knows how to come back in a series. Joining two guys, Luke Gazdic and David Amber, and someone else named Jeff Jackson, that hopes Pete DeBoer is wrong about that.
All right, thank you, Gene. Yeah, Pete DeBoer is all business, and this man's the head of business, the CEO and president of the Oilers, Jeff Jackson. Thanks so much for doing this, Jeff. And we saw that beautiful intro from Tony Brar talking about the atmosphere here. And when you talk to the players, opposing players, they seem to just love playing here. How do you describe the atmosphere here in Edmonton for a game?
Yeah, I mean, it's something else. It's like no other building, outside, city, the day of the game. It's the electric. It really pumps up our players, it pumps up our fan base, and it's really incredible.
Jeff, this is a circle of trust. This is honesty here. You guys are down 2-0 to LA in round one. You're flying back up to Edmonton. Was there ever a doubt or worry in your mind, or did you have confidence in your group all along that they'd make it this far?
Well, I think since I started in this job, we've had some peaks and valleys. We've had some difficulties at times where we've had stretches where we haven't played well and we've lost some games. I've always had faith in this team. I know our coaching staff, Stan, everybody's had faith in the group. We also knew we needed a couple of games to get the guys sort of in sync. A lot of guys were coming back off of injury and such. So we felt good, and we were fortunate in Game 3, to be honest. Bush kept the puck in at the blue line. We score, and then from there we played very, very well.
One more from me. I've known Connor for a long time, just like you. Lived with him when he was 18. It's incredible when I come back here to see the growth and the maturity, the way the guys hang off every word that he does, and how he carries himself. It's pretty cool to watch, to be honest.
Yeah, I've known him since he was 14. You played with him when he was real young in the league. He's an incredible leader. He just wants to win. He brings it every day, on and off the ice. He sets the example for the other players. And when you bring guys in who are veteran players like Klingberg, or some of the other guys we brought in, Arvidsson, Ekholm, they just marvel at his leadership.
Really quickly, Jeff, I just want to know, and I asked this to Jim Nill, and he mentioned Rantanen, such a big move. Of the moves you've made in the 2 years you're here, what are you most proud of that's maybe brought you to this position?
I think this year we sort of looked at the team. Stan had a very good idea that we didn't need a shutdown defenseman. We needed a puck-moving defenseman. So Klingberg became available, so we went after him. We were fortunate to get him back playing. He's playing very well right now. The Jake Wallman one, too, is another one where we have a guy who can skate, move the puck, jump into the play. So we play less time in our own zone, moving the puck up. So I think those two moves, amongst a couple other smaller ones, getting Trent Frederick obviously was a good move for us, but I really like those two guys on the back end for us.
Stealth moves, and here you are, 2 wins away from returning to the Stanley Cup final. All the best of luck tonight, and congratulations.
Thanks, David.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
Thanks.
Terrific, man. So you think about the first 2 games of the playoffs, they played LA and gave up 12 goals, and
right,
as TA says, 2 away. So Stuart Skinner, renaissance.
Well, he'll be on the spot again today. There's no question about it. I really expect Dallas is going to have a terrific game. They don't want to go down 3-1. But you look at Skinner Sunday afternoon, he was absolutely incredible. I think the best performance of the playoffs, even though he had 3 previous shutouts. I thought giving up the 1 goal was all just because of Skinner. He was so dialed in. By the way, I love his comments always, and he had a great post-game interview after where he was kind of asked when you know you're dialed in, and he was honest. He goes, you never really know if you're dialed in or how long it'll stay with you. So for Skinner, he's just a guy that has learned how to battle. He's had lots of things in his way. Every once in a while, seems to just play through everything. It's amazing.
I agree, Cal. Really, his resiliency has been very clear. So you think about the Dallas Stars, and before this series started, if you looked at their roster and their lineup, you said, oh, you got to be aware of their depth up front and their lines. But this has been a huge challenge for them. They haven't been able to score throughout this series. Look at those names, and we believe that Dadonov is not in tonight, Elliot. But you think about all of those guys, Rantanen, Johnston, Marchment, goes on what they need to do to experiment with their lines, but these guys need to find a way quickly to be more offensively strong.
Did want to confirm Dadonov is out. Also just wanted to say Chris Rooney's back tonight. He got injured in Game 7 of Toronto, Florida. We remember about that. Glad to see he's healthy enough to recover and return.
Absolutely. When I worked a preseason game in 2006, it was Chris who gave me his spot on the ice to work with Steve Walkham. He's a fantastic individual. He and Dan O'Rourke will wear the stripes as referees tonight. It's Game 4. Brett Kissel takes us to break.
And you think about how he's played on the ice, coming off a game where he had 3 points, he was +5 and 10 hits. Even when we talked to him in warm-up and visions of him in the locker room, Kel, he looks focused and dialed in.
Edmonton should expect the best from Dallas. I think they'll have their best game of the series. They understand how well they played in the second period Sunday, and if they do that, they'll have a chance to tie the series.
Dallas needs 2 players who haven't scored much to score. Everyone's scoring for Edmonton. Everyone.
They absolutely are, especially at home, Elliot. They're averaging just below 5 a game at 4.83. All right, Chris Cuthbert, Craig Simpson will call the game, of course. Gene Principe will have former Oiler goalie Mike Smith as his guest. Here we go, Game 4. Enjoy.
The first Western Conference final that he and his teammates were in, and the one who backstopped that was Mike Smith. You look incredible still, Mike. What do you think of this kind of incredible atmosphere, and is this one of the things you missed when you retired?
Oh, it's absolutely deadly, Gene. It's there's nothing like it. I definitely miss this part of it for sure. It's great to be back in here tonight, and hopefully the Oilers can come out on top.
What would you say about Stuart Skinner and his ability to bounce back and the success that he's had?
Yeah, I'm super proud of Stu. Obviously, had some time here with him, but the way he's came out of a little bit of a hole and showed what he can do in the playoffs and most important games shows a lot about the kid.
What do you think about goaltending and the way goaltenders have been sometimes bumped into as teams try and get them off their game?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been there, right? It's always that fine line between the old accident on purpose thing. So I think it's something that it's part of the game. Obviously, you don't want to try and hurt a goalie, but they're going to try and get you off your game. You just got to try and stay as focused as possible.
Well, they just introduced Stuart. I remember they introduced you, Mike. Mike, great to have you here. I love the hair. I miss mine. Wonderful to have you back in oil country.
Thanks, Gene. Good seeing you, buddy.
Great to see you, too.
And now, Oilers fans viewing at home across the hockey world. And here in Rogers Place, we ask you to please remain standing, remove your hats, and join the singing voice of your Edmonton Oilers, Robert Clark, in the performance of the American and Canadian national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command.
Ready for Game 4 in the roar of Rogers Place. Starting goaltending matchup is the same. Jake Ottinger's dropped 2 straight for the first time in these playoffs. An .842 save percentage in round 3. At the other end, Stuart Skinner, he stopped 58 of 59 in the last 2, and he's won 6 of 9 playoff starts in the last 2 years against Dallas. Roope Hintz is in the Dallas lineup for game number 4. And we're underway. It's a 4th line starting for Pete DeBoer. Might have been their best line, Craig, in game number 3 with Blackwell out along with Oscar Beck and Sam Steele. And the Oilers counter with the Adam Henrique line of Andrew Keane on one side and Kasperi Kapanen moves on to this line, so we'll see some different combinations for Edmonton. Here's Keane working it down that right flank against Cecil Lindell. And now back the other way comes Oscar Beck with Steele over the line. Here's Steele a shot and a left hand stop by Skinner. Broken stick on the play as the Oilers start to make a change. Keane over the line, left the puck, and almost pouncing on that was Mikko Rantanen.
Kane had McDavid wide open on the side flank there, just couldn't control the puck as he came off the bench.
McDavid steals, Hyman a shot! Ottinger is first stop, a rebound in front! Bouncing puck, and the Stars able to send that along the board, so Edmonton has their first good look, and Hyman's got the puck again. 2 goals in game 3, 109 hits now. McDavid to the line. Wallman across. Here's Evan Bouchard looking to get it back to McDavid. Sent ahead, and Jason Robertson up on the top line along with Rantanen and Hintz to start game 4.
Just a different sense of urgency once that McDavid line jumps on. You had the Henrique line against the Dallas 4th line, and then a great scoring chance on the heels of it as the McDavid line changed on the go.
So Wyatt Johnston now centers a line with Jamie Benn and Mikael Granlund. Chasing after it, Leon Draisaitl. Corey Perry moves back up on the line with Draisaitl. That puck slides the length of the ice. It's an icing call against Dallas.
Well, we talked all series long about the importance of the game's first goal. The Edmonton Oilers have scored the first in all 3 games to this point. A dump in and a good hard pressure. Great read by McDavid. Good early chance there. Ottinger slides across. Ceci actually makes 2 blocks. If that second one had got through, you had Ryan Nugent-Hopkins right on the doorstep. So an early test for Ottinger and an early big save.
Off the draw, Esa Lindell moves it ahead for the Dallas captain Benz. Up high in the air off the glove. Draisaitl and Johnston after it. Unable to get it deep, but Miro Heiskanen backs him up. A collision at the line. That was Granlund running into Corey Perry, who's been shaken up and is going to the bench in some difficulty. Here's a chance. Knocked down in front was Bud. Pulls it up. Big hit along the boards as two Oilers ran into Matt Duchene.
How about Victor Arvidsson getting his first shift back in? He reacts to the hit against Perry. Perry's going down into the, well, no, he's going to wait there, just trying to get his breath. He was down in a heap quickly, and Granlund, as you mentioned, moved down from that top line. Let's have a look there. Oh, he's just going backwards. Got him right in the numbers. No question, knocked the wind out of him. But here's the reaction at the other end. The sandwich hit hard on Duchene there, and as I mentioned, Victor Arvidsson getting back in the lineup, trying to get physical early.
Petrovic trying to get the shot through. Arvidsson back in the lineup for the first time since Game 3 against Vegas. Here's Seguin sending it wide. Petrovic put that on goal and rebound. A jam play in front, and Seguin unable to find that in front of the net. And it comes back out to center. Sent in by Marchment. Skinner stops it up. Holds on to it and plays it past Seguin to the line, but not out. In behind the net, it's in front and off Skinner. A chance here, Mitchell, and he fires that wide. Skinner with a grade A stop here in the early going. Duchene's got it from the corner. Dallas looking for its first period goal, and they're going to get the first power play of Game 4. That one flipped in front. Bouncing puck. Woolman, did he touch it? No, and it's continued on, 6-on-5. Duchene from the corner. Seguin out in front, into the crease. Stop. Here's Petrovic firing it. And that off target, ricocheted back. Puts an empty net at the other end.
Yeah, I mean, players are arguing they thought they had control of it at least enough to get the to get the whistle. Instead, deemed it hasn't. So another opportunity here, 6-on-5 for the Stars.
Here's Roope Hintz along with Robertson. Back to the line it goes. Across for Lindell. Down into the corner for Rantanen. He'll take a look. Feed back. Harley goes across. And a shot. That'll sail out of play. And now we'll get that first penalty call of Game 4.
Well, a couple of chances from behind the net on wraparounds, both sides. Klingberg's going to argue this penalty call all the way, but it's some pressure in front. Marchment knocks down Klingberg. That starts a little bit of a chaos in front of the Edmonton net. You can see a misplay there, and then Seguin with a right-handed shot throws it. This shot across, I thought, hit the post, and then off the pad on the other side is Duchene. Now you're chasing it a little bit, and anytime you get that wraparound there into the body of Duchene, it's Klingberg that takes the game's first penalty.
Well, the Stars 3 for 8 in the series. The 3 goals came in Game 1. Looking for their first lead since the third period of game number 1. Back to Duchene. Wraps it around for Rantanen. Johnston and Hintz out there up front. And the puck loose and cleared by Henrique.
Great play there by Darnell Nurse. You've got Rantanen, you're looking at his numbers. He's trying to get a wraparound along the boards. It's difficult to get it cleanly. He pressured, got secondary pressure from Henrique and able to clear the zone.
Harley kicks it back, and now Duchene on the left side. Back to Harley, slot, chance. Rantanen missed the target. They get the setup. Now from the corner. And played past Harley all the way down.
We saw that shot from Rantanen in Game 3. Hit the post from a similar spot. That time, just a little high and wide. He was a little frustrated going to the bench. He wanted to quick up to keep that play alive.
2 power play goals in the playoffs for Mikko Rantanen. From the corner, that gets past Granlund. Picked up there by Janmark. He'll feed it ahead. Darnell Nurse to Kapanen. Nurse drives the lane. Kapanen checked there by Marchment. And now it's Granlund starting back. Oilers made a change as Granlund comes down that left side. But Edmonton breaks that up, and Hyman with the flip over Heiskanen down.
18,500 fans wanted to call against Kapanen there as he was just trying to buy himself a little time to make a play. Got a stick in, and no call made.
Final 20 seconds of the power play. Heiskanen checked, and he'll have to go back to get it. Connor McDavid out there to finish the kill. And out comes Lindell. Off. Roope Hintz in deep. Hintz with a pair of 3-point games during the regular season against Edmonton. Here comes Draisaitl. Oilers back at full strength. McDavid kicks it back. Klingberg across. Intercepted by Hintz. And he'll start back along with Rantanen. Mikko Rantanen over the line. Looks across. Here's a chance. And Ceci missed the target. And it will boomerang back into Dallas zone. Great action to start game number 4. We're 6.5 minutes in. Troy Stecher with the puck. He'll send it back into Dallas territory. But Colson unable to come up with that. A lead feed for Sam Steele. No icing on the play as Steele chases after it. Kicked in at the line by Harley. Thomas Harley in deep trying to center. Denied by Stecher. Back to the line it goes. Bischel's shot doesn't get through. Knocked down in front. And Darnell Nurse with the lead feed, and it's flipped away at center. Colin Blackwell's got it. Back in for Dallas. Bounces that on to Skinner. Steele from the corner. Cycles it for Ben. Here's Blackwell behind the net. Back up to Bischel. Can't hold the zone, and they'll have to re-rack at center ice. Blackwell leaned on. Henrique forced him to turn it over. Now played on the right side on Frederick. Evander Kane out there as Petrovic moves the puck. Frederick got a hit. And here's a lead feed. It's Johnston handing off. Granlund in flight. Put it right off. Oh, the rebound. Will be turned back after John Klingberg had a little bobble in front of Stuart Skinner.
You know the playoffs are all about welcoming parties back in. Roope Hintz, he misses with the bad foot. Well, here's your first or second shift back, and there's Bouchard going, get right on the same spot, and that's why you wonder why they never say what's wrong and injuries that are happening. Granlund had a good head of speed there, and watch Klingberg just make sure that he didn't bobble that one past Stewart, able to control it to the outside. Great pace to the start of this game.
Hintz back out there to take the draw, but the Oilers away with the puck. Frederick at center, pocket picked by Rantanen, and he'll drop it back into the Oilers zone. Klingberg there. Hintz for Robertson, who scored his first goal of the playoffs on Sunday afternoon. Back come the Oilers. McDavid over the line, drops it off, gets it back, and back in. May have glanced off Oettinger. Chipped out to center, Rantanen stops it up, and Hintz is on the move. Here's Hintz trying to work his way in, but Woolman takes it away. And the fans want a hooking call there, but they'll play on.
Klingberg's on the bench there yelling at the official. Got called for a very similar thing, and he was up right away getting after it.
Now up ahead it goes to Duchene. A 2-on-1 with Seguin on his backhand. Back to Duchene. Now it's brought off Marchment wide. Close call. Seguin with a chance. And Skinner gets a piece of that. Harley in front now. Duchene a backhand wide. Marchment to the side of the net. And the Oilers get it out. Back the other way they come. McDavid hits the line. Works it across. Nugent Hopkins. Set it high. And around it comes for Seguin to Duchene. Got Marchment loose on the right side. Back it goes in front. Off Stecher. Walked down there by Skinner. Wild start. Here to game 4. Past 9 minutes.
That one hurt Hyman there. He just avoided a check with his right wrist, and he's going right down the tunnel to the Oiler room.
There's Heiskanen up. Hot backhand. Puck comes down. Heiskanen stays in there. And the puck moved up the boards and out to center ice and sent deep by Victor Arvidsson. Back into the Dallas zone, and Heiskanen got back first. Got bumped there along the boards. Now Blackwell trying to advance, and that's taken away by Kulak. John Klingberg redlining in. Petrovic back first for Dallas. Takes a hit from Podkolzin. Flip to Oettinger. He's going to hold on so we can take a breather.
Well, big play there. You could see the arguing from the bench. The Oilers wanted a couple of calls. Watch Hyman as he comes across here, gets his wrist, and he drops his stick immediately. Marchment misses him, but gets into his stick. We'll get an update when we come back. as you would expect in such an important game. This one really never even got to its target, but it did its damage. That right hand of Zach Hyman as he's getting away from Lindell just can't quite get away from Marchment, and this reaction is not one you want to see. Hyman, we've talked about how important he's been, coming off just a great game, the last game as well, and we hope to see him back. That did not look all that good.
Good news for the Oilers, though. Corey Perry is back on the ice taking this next shift, and we do have a tripping penalty coming up.
Bet365 has a new and exclusive game, Prize Matcher. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Oh, Ron McLean will love this. Hey, during the commercial break, there was all kinds of lobbying going on after the non-call earlier on, one that was similar to the Klingberg. So the very first chance here, Ben in on the forecheck, gets the stick into the skates, and the arm goes up quickly. The Edmonton Oilers in games 1 and 2, Chris, scored on their very first power play opportunity in both those games. Dallas wasn't able to here in game 4. Oilers look to do so on their first chance.
And a power play goal in each of the 3 games in the series. They started out with a face-off win, and it is McDavid firing it. That's a good right pad stop by Ottinger to help get the puck out to center. McDavid going to take it right back in. Perry got back onside. Nugent Hopkins downhill to the backhand stop. And the puck cleared by Blackwell.
Boy, Blackwell had a chance if he softened that one up a little bit. Steele might have been able to get in on his own. First power play here, you missed the presence of Zach Hyman there on it as well.
Oilers 7 for 13 at home on the power play. Back in Nugent Hopkins. McDavid around. Perry is in the slot. Draisaitl back to Bouchard, who opened the scoring on Sunday afternoon. Over on that other side, McDavid. Quick pivot against Johnston. Back it goes to McDavid, broken up by Johnston. And he'll carry it down, maybe challenge McDavid, who closes him down deep in Edmonton ice. But Johnston able to hold on there and kill a little extra time before peeling back to the Dallas bench. Here comes Leon Draisaitl. Over the line, Nugent Hopkins drives and scores! Leon Draisaitl from his spot with his second power play goal of the postseason.
Yeah, and I've noticed it's just his second. That's a spot that typically he's just so dangerous from. Watch the little give and go, and there was not much room. That's a perfect angle to watch from where we're situated. Good speed on the entry and a little stop up, and he's just ready to shoot. Never even a backswing on that one. A Hart wrist shot one-timer. Look at the stick movement. Hardly at all. He beats Ottinger to the post, goes underneath the glove. And at this point, only one power play goal coming into this. No bigger power play goal in this series than that one. And again, the Oilers for 4 straight games score the game's first goal, and for 3 of the 4 on their first power play attempt.
Draisaitl from the corner office. He scored 16 power play goals during the regular season. So his 7th of the playoffs gives Edmonton the lead. They're 10-4 when scoring first in this postseason. Another point for Ryan Nugent Hopkins, who leads this series now with 8.
Coming off a 3-assist game in game 3, Nugent Hopkins, that secondary offense. We've talked all series long about the depth factor, and number 93 a really big part of that in this series.
Corey Perry gets the second assist on the play. Here's Matt Duchene handing it off, and Skinner will vacuum that up with Marchment on the doorstep. So Draisaitl ignites this crowd. 1-0 Oil. For the 13th time, Leon Draisaitl opens the scoring in a Stanley Cup playoff game.
Well, and you look at just the importance in your home building and such an important game. Watch Ottinger. He knows that there's the threat there, and he just starts to slide just a little too late. And it's the fact that the quick release of Draisaitl, that's been his spot his entire career. It was kind of odd, as you mentioned, just one power play goal here, 14 games in, and that's more what you're used to seeing on the power play by him.
Shane whips that high off the faceoff win. Draisaitl did not have a shot on goal in game number 3, just the 3rd time this season that had happened. There's Marchment putting it in front, tipped there by Duchesne. Duchesne recovers, Marchment, and Skinner, square to the shooter, holds on.
Download the Bet365 app.
You know, you get to this stage in a series, you're coming off of game 3 where, especially in the second period, Dallas had outshot the Edmonton Oilers 21-7, but still finding themselves down. And Pete DeBoer said, you know, give Stuart Skinner his credit. I thought we were a better team than we were in the games previous. Comes to a point where the goaltender can start getting in your head. You know, you get frustrated and maybe start thinking a little bit more before you shoot. And Skinner's been solid here again to start game 4.
There's 10 shots already for Dallas in the first 13 minutes. But Skinner's had the answer so far. Evan Bouchard looks up ice. Up ahead it goes, and Nugent Hopkins will flip it in. And Ottinger's going to have to hold on to that for a face-off in the Star zone.
You know, the road has just been a real struggle for the Dallas Stars. So I talk about getting into your head as a shooter. Look at the difference, 2-5 record, just 10 goals during that span, -18. And the big thing, too, is the percentage of time leading. And here they go again on the road, giving up the first one. That was the talk for Pete DeBoer over the day off yesterday about just the importance of establishing something early on. You know, if you're Dallas, you're thinking you can win this game and have a best-of-3 with home ice going back home, but you know the importance. You got to find a way to grab yourself and drag yourself back into this series.
Felt that they've gotten better as the series has gone on, but they've just chased the game so often.
It seemed to me a little bit like a coach who's trying to prop his team up, though. I think it's been maybe all of a period and a half. It's been more Oilers dominant in the offensive part.
I know the stat you believe at least is expected goals, but they did have an edge in expected goals in game 3.
Yeah, you know, even the out shooting, it's the eye test, right? They've had more jump in the start of this first period than we've seen through a good chunk of this series.
But Draisaitl's power play goal, the difference so far. He'll swing it in front. And just missed Kane. Granlund up the boards. And now Liddell flips the backhand out to center ice. Ben has it chopped away by Klingberg. John Klingberg back in his own zone. It's taken away by Granlund. Ullman there. He's tied up along the end boards. Granlund trying to fish it out of the skates. Ullman continues to battle. Dallas has the puck. Oscar Beck back to the line. Bishop and across. That one flipped wide of the net. And here's Mikael Granlund sending it to the net. Deflecting off the side of the cage. Back to Granlund one more time. Into the corner for Beck. Oscar Beck worked the boards. He's got Wyatt Johnston in support. Trying to hand it off to Granlund. Now fires it around for Petrovic. That was knocked away by Ullman and flipped back into Dallas Stars ice. Under 5.5 to go here in this opening period. 11-6 are the shots. Here's Blackwell trying to shift gears unsuccessfully against Darnell Nurse. Up ahead it goes, rinked wide. That one knocked down just at the line by Janmark. And back the other is Blackwell. Marchment around. Sam Steele behind the net. Here's Steele in front. Marchment put it right on. Arvidsson turns with the rebound. Here's Victor Arvidsson. Across to Janmark. Couldn't reach that. And it's back inside the Edmonton line. Arvidsson regrouping that. And it'll come across to Stetcher.
So an example there of Arbison using his speed to create a little open ice there. That's one of the things Chris Knoblauch said that he can add to this lineup coming in for Connor Brown.
I actually thought they may have lacked a little speed in the last game. Hoping Arbison could push that defense back a little bit, get them on their heels. Oilers able to get this out to center, and Heiskanen with the puck. Esa Lindell redlining in. Skinner trying to stop that up. Kulak around. Stepping up was Heiskanen. Up there by Duchesne. Seguin back to Heiskanen. Pretty nice shift there against Kapanen. Heiskanen. Back to Lindell and across. Covering there is Rantanen. Back in towards Duchesne. Kulak comes up with that puck. And Kulak off the boards down the ice. They're going to wave icing.
There's where the frustration the Edmonton Oilers defensively have been giving Dallas there. You look like they have pressure, look like they could get a chance. Everything to the outside, nothing through the middle, and a couple of good sticks, and they're able to alleviate the pressure.
Hyman still not back as Wallman leads Edmonton in. Flips that towards the Dallas cage. On it is McDavid. And knocked away by Ceci. Hintz back the other way. Ceci drives the lane. Here's Cody Ceci. Stop. The rebound is held by Skinner. As the whistle sounds, Cody Ceci, the former Oiler, with a grade A chance.
Ryan Stuart Skinner not quite sure where this one is. Squeezed the pads as tight as he could. Looks behind him. Nothing there.
All right, look at the two head coaches in this Western Conference Final. Familiar with Dallas Stars, Peter DeBoer, and there is head coach Chris Knoblauch of the Edmonton. Wait a minute. Why would he be? He wouldn't be sitting in the seats. That's Matt Ziffrick, the head pastor at the Bethel Lutheran Church in Sherwood Park. He said 18 months ago his life changed when the Oilers hired Chris Knoblauch. He goes for gas, for groceries. Everyone thinks that he's the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. The head coach of the Oilers says he does see the resemblance, the way the series is going. No need for divine intervention, but he is a chip off the old Knoblauch.
Well done, Gene. Had the Paul McLean impersonator, the Jared Bednar. Here's Heiskanen a shot, and heavy traffic in front. That puck ends up deflecting out of play.
Well, what I could tell you about Stuart Skinner, how about another period where he's just a battler? You know, the ups and downs that he's had, not just this year, obviously, but last, the growth that he's had, the commitment that he's had to turn things around, and what a little run that he's been on. And you know, you go back to Game 3 in that second period, especially, as I said, the 21 shots, and he just continues to find a way through traffic. Dallas has put some bodies in front, but he's been able to find a way to pick the puck out, and another good chance there spoiled by the shoulder of Stuart Skinner.
As good a period as he's had.
Yeah.
Now with 15 consecutive stops. in the opening 17 minutes. Heiskanen across for Harley. Tyler Seguin. A Heiskanen shot that tipped wide. Duchesne on it behind the net, looking for Marchment in front. It'll come back to Heiskanen. Across it goes Seguin, whipped it wide, and it ricochets back to the Dallas line.
Yeah, he's mad at himself there. He just missed his target, and the worst thing is it clears the zone. He hits the net there. At least you might get a second chance rebound in front.
Keep the board, putting Thomas Harley back with Miro Heiskanen there, looking for a little offense here in the late stages of the first period. McDavid, Bouchard, and a blocker stop by Ottinger. Dallas had turned it. Might have an odd man rush. Bouchard getting back. Marchment's pass off a skate. Looked like they were at the end of the shift and couldn't take advantage of that counterattack. Here's McDavid. Hill gets stopped by Ottinger in tight. As the Oiler captain comes close.
Well, you get the top players out there at the end of a shift where Dallas has been offense-minded, so all of a sudden now you got to get back defensively. A little area pass. Bouchard makes the shot. Watch how quickly he gets back, though. Does a nice job of a little give and go, and then it's Connor McDavid at the end of that shift just trying to get that rebound through. Ottinger with two big saves there, one off the blocker and then one off the pad. Chris, is that chance by Bouchard didn't go in the net. He got all the way back defensively and got back into the play to make sure Dallas didn't get a shot at the other end. There's the commitment at both ends of the ice for Bouchard.
Ensign Nugent-Hopkins, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with the draw. Bouchard, hot shot into the glove of Ottinger. 4 years later tells the story of two newlyweds coming to terms with everything that's happened after spending years apart. Watch free on CBC Gem.
Bouchard one away from hitting the 20-goal mark for his playoff career. Playoffs numbers just continue to dazzle, don't they?
And if it happened tonight, he'd be the 5th fastest to 20, a game ahead of Al McInnes, a guy who probably could shoot the puck with the same velocity.
Well, no surprise, the quickest was his D coach, Paul Coffey. It took Paul 48 games to get to number 20. Pretty close cover. Brian Leetch was 49. Bobby Orr was 50. So pretty darn good company. Yeah. And you know, you look at all of Bouchard's playoff numbers, those are the Hall of Fame guys that he's up there with, how productive he's been able to be.
Brentman dumped it in behind the net. Hintz went for a fall. Up ahead it goes, out of the reach of McDavid, and it's an icing call against the Oilers with 89 seconds remaining here in the first.
You know, you think the ups and downs of the season, and earlier in the year, people were like, oh, Bouchard's struggling a little bit, maybe off of his game. What a brilliant playoff he had last year with 32 points, and you know, it's the playoffs that really matter. This is the 3rd straight year he's scored 17 points or more. Oh, by the way, only 2 other defensemen have done that. The great Dennis Potvin of the New York Islanders and Victor Hedman. So, again, pretty heady company that he is establishing himself in. I think he's been brilliant this playoffs.
Jamie Benn wins the draw. Harley shot and hit traffic in front with Skinner going the other way. And the puck out of play.
So here's the frustration of playoff hockey, too. You know, you're throwing everything at Skinner. You're 16 shots now. You're doing what you need to do. Jamie Benn, get right to the front of the net. Who needs a break more than him right now? But once again, the shot doesn't get through. He did a good job of getting a screen there. But the responsibility of the D is to make sure you get the shot through. That's something that the Stars haven't clearly been able to do efficiently.
There's a shot chopped to the side of the net. 16 shots, 16 have missed the net. And 5 more blocked in this opening period. There's another that might go down as a shot block, kept in by Dallas. And now Draisaitl recovers to work it out to center. Up off the ledge and down for Kulak here in the final minute of the opening period of Game 4. Miro Heiskanen. He'll turn back. Dallas changing in behind him, and now Harley's got it. Heiskanen heads to the bench. Hintz comes on. Brenton sends it in. Hintz behind the net. That hit the stanchion and went dead behind the Oiler goal. And now out comes Edmonton. Here's Janmark working his way in. Matthias Janmark rolls it deep. Played along the boards. Brandon stopped by Klingberg. Now out and bounced on Hintz, who was unable to get away. Back is Arvidsson with speed. Across for Walden. Shot on and Oettinger able to get that glove on top and took a little bit of a swipe there, which draws a crowd deep in the Dallas zone.
Well, it was Arvidsson who got blown up trying to get to the rebound, and it's Podkolzin who responded to it. I believe it was Lindell again who delivered that blow. Another example, though, of Arvidsson with his good curl-back speed. A nice crisp pass over to Wallman, and you create an offensive play out of a defensive positioning, and that's something that the Edmonton Oilers have done extremely well. You can see Arvidsson gets boxed out there, and the reaction of Podkolzin, I think, is the only penalty that's going to happen here. Wallman with the curl around the stick of the defender, Ceci. A takedown there, not called. A response by Podkolzin is the only penalty.
And O'Rourke makes the call. Dallas got the first power play of the game. And with 7.6 to go in the first period, they'll start another. Without a shot on that first power play. Duchesne wins it back. Here's Thomas Harley across. That's off the stick and up into the seats.
You know, as this playoff continues to creep along, a good sign for the Oilers is the penalty kill is starting to get a little bit of traction. You know, such a difficult start. It was their best part of their special teams last year on the Stanley Cup run. They only allowed 4 goals all the way to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. Far cry from that to start, but it's continuing to improve and continuing to get some continuity to it.
Killed 13 of 15 at home. Ransomed, and that's fought off at the horn by Skinner. Wow, Skinner saved maybe his best for last here in the first.
You know, again, I talk about getting into a shooter's head. It didn't even look like there was going to be enough time to get a shot. A bounce and a quick reaction. That's the size of Skinner, but look at the positioning of him too. Rantanen waits for it to settle down, gets the shoulder up at the last second, and there's shot number 18 turned aside by number 74.
18-10, the shots favor the visitors, but Leon Draisaitl with his 7th and his 22nd point to tie Connor McDavid for the Stanley Cup playoff lead from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Corey Perry. 1-0 after one, Game 4. Ron with Jennifer Kelly and Elliot, David and Luke coming up in our first intermission.
Passion, brought to you by Rogers, Canada's home of hockey. Canada, it's time to bring Stanley home. This is our game.
As Simmer said, best save by Skinner, the last save. That was key. 17 shots is what they've readjusted. We'll get to David and Luke out at the rink in a moment. Zach Hyman.
Well, that's the biggest storyline going into period number 2, in addition to the game itself, is does Zach Hyman return for the start of that second frame? And I didn't play pro hockey like Jennifer did or like Kelly did, but I've been around long enough to know when a guy goes right to the dressing room like this, you're worried about it. And anybody who's ever had their arm bent back like that, you worry about shoulder, maybe wrist. So hopefully it's not as bad as it looked. But when a player like him goes charging off the ice like that, you know that they don't like what they feel in the moment.
Yeah, it looks pretty severe to me, and I would be surprised if he would come back. I just think that to me, a guy like Hyman, when he charges down the tunnel, it's severe.
Yeah, and it's a tough point of contact, but it looks like immediately with a shoulder and a hard turn. So physicality. So we also see the return of Roope Hintz in this game. So Simmer alluded to the one moment of contact when a shift change was happening, but that was not the only moment that he received a lot of attention. So Hintz, you think about coming through, a couple of sticks to make sure that players are making contact, and then Nurse finishes them hard with some physicality in the corner. So this is the play that Simmer showed. This is the one that might have been a little over the top in terms of too much edge, but we'll continue. Elliot, I know you have some thoughts on that, but earlier you think about throughout the first period, even as Hintz is coming through the crease area, that was a second swipe that Bouchard had taken at Hintz. And so even in front, after this little moment, sort of an awkward twist with his skates on and does a little hop, and you wonder, is that affecting him in terms of the injury? Collides with Perry in the slot area. So knowing he's back, is he 100% healthy or not? There is clearly an attention from the Edmonton Oilers, and an awareness when he's on the ice, and to make sure that there is contact in different ways on Roope Hintz.
Just before you go on to this, Hyman not coming back tonight.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, so he is their number one center, so he's going to get a lot of attention. He's going to be under attack. And the only reason it's maybe crossing the line, in my opinion, is because the camera caught it. But you've got to do that to a guy like that. I know it's not for everybody, and I know I'll probably get criticized a lot for that, but I don't care. It's the playoffs, and you got to do that, and that's sports.
As a reporter, you know, it's sometimes the injury non-disclosure makes me crazy. Like you want upper body, lower body. I mean, everybody out there, we've all joked about it. But when I see plays like that, I understand it. Now, everybody knows why that Hintz has an injury. Everybody knows what Hintz's injury was. But if they didn't know he had an injury, then who knows? Does that slash happen? No. And that's the thing. That's why, like, whenever I argue with people in hockey, like players or coaches or executives, they will point to a play like that and they'll say, that's why we do not believe in telling you what our injuries are if we don't have to.
And I agree with that 100%. It's nobody's business. It's the team and the player going through the injury. Nobody should have any idea what you're nursing. It's just not right.
And in the playoffs, this stuff happens more than everybody cares to admit.
Absolutely.
One thing I'll say, is not violent. That is a irritating blow, not a violent blow, at least.
Right.
Okay, Stuart Skinner.
So the MVP of the series so far, I think if it continues to go this way, Stuart Skinner, 57 of his last 58 saves and first shots saved in first period shots in the last 6 games, 93 save percentage. And tonight, and you guys mentioned it, the last one was maybe the best one. He's been spectacular again. Like, it's 1-0 Edmonton. I thought that was a great period for Dallas. I really did. They took a bad penalty and got scored on. Their penalty kill is starting to fall apart. But Kelly, again, like, to me, just like the second period the other night, he's the best player on the ice.
Well, Oilers will have a little short discussion how they have to be better, because Dallas will break through if they continue to play like that.
Hey, David, Luke, come on in.
All right, well, Elliot just made a pretty compelling case for Stuart Skinner as far as the best player for the Edmonton Oilers in this series. Could also make a case, I think, for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. 13 goals by the Oilers so far in the series. He's been involved in 8 of them.
Yeah, Kelly and the panel gave him some serious love before the game, and Chris Knobloch did also after the game, said it might be the best game he's ever seen him play hockey, and I think I'd agree with that. And some of the best hockey I think we've seen him play in his career. Here's identical back-to-back apples from games 3 and 4, working off the 3-on-1 here to the backside. This one was to McDavid, and here is the one from tonight. Very similar. It's his patience, it's his vision. It's a 2-on-3 for this one, and that is Leon's typical shot. I look at Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and what he brings to this Edmonton Oilers team. I think people tend to forget. Here's a guy who plays first power play. He's first over the boards for penalty kill. He takes a lot of big faceoffs, plays a lot of minutes against top players, and he's done it for a long time. I got to sit beside him in the dressing room for 3 years here, and there might not be a better guy to sit beside, to keep everything cool and calm and collected, and might not always get the recognition he deserves.
Longest serving Oiler as well. All right, meanwhile, Oilers may be lucky to be ahead 1-0 right now.
Stuart Skinner was in there for them, but Dallas isn't doing themselves any favor. They're missing the net like crazy. And from the Edmonton side, they got to start winning faceoffs. 70% for Dallas in that first.
15 missed shots, Ron, for Dallas. And again, Edmonton, power play goals every game and have scored first every game as well in this series.
Thank you, man. Excellent there. We're going to unveil the host city for Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada when we come back. It's a mix of euphoria and sadness, though, with that announcement. The Moncton Wildcats dealing with the loss of a member of their family. That's next.
This first intermission brought to you by Rogers, Canada's home of hockey. Canada, it's time to bring Stanley home. This is our game.
On Sportsnet, presented by Instacart, the winning way to get groceries delivered. Onto the big board, presented by Bet365. Logan Stankoven, the hero, with a beautiful goal last night for the Carolina Hurricanes as they rally with a 3-0 victory in that series against Florida. First win in the conference finals. As you know, they'd had a rut of 15 in a row, but a big win sends it back to Raleigh for game number 5. The big board, presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, never ordinary at Bet365. All right. We're very pleased to announce that in 2026, Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada is heading to Moncton, New Brunswick for our national celebration of the game. The whole crew will be there. The Stanley Cup will be there. 4 days in the city of Moncton. We have school visits, clinics with NHL alumni, banquets, home game for the Wildcats, this year's Q Champs. All 7 Canadian teams will be in action. We'll host just outside the Avenir Centre, the home of the Wildcats. We start on January 14th. The big day is January 17th, 2026. Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada heads east to the hub city of Moncton, New Brunswick. And with that said, You probably know the story of Pat Buckley passed yesterday, just hours before the game at the Memorial Cup in Rimouski. So Taylor McDougall is the GM of the Wildcats. His dad, Gardner, is the icon from UNB and anything he touches in the queue. But it's Kelsey, Taylor's wife, who lost her dad. Jake Allen, who's helped us out on our Hockey Night in Canada broadcast, is a dear friend of Taylor and Kelsey. He said, nothing feels real right now. Everybody in the Maritimes love you. So here's a look at Pat. He's a great university hockey player, a great golfer. And Pat, as Jake said, nothing feels normal. Everybody loved you because you're so full of life. This does not make anything feel right. But just know, Pat, when we gather in Moncton, we're going to talk and walk hockey and golf in your spirit. So the Buckleys, the McDougalls, the Wildcats, all of our love. We can't wait to be with you in Moncton.
By Rogers in support of Make-A-Wish Canada and the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation. The jackpot is currently just under $5.7 million and climbing fast for tonight's big draw. Tonight's early bird prizes include $10,000 cash and a Ford Bronco. Get your tickets now anywhere in Alberta at edmontonoilers.com/5050 before it's too late. Stats After 20, brought to you by Rogers, Canada's home of hockey. Pivotal first period on the part of both of these teams in such an important game, and the numbers do look good for Dallas. The stats in their favor, but not the score. The one stat you don't see, as mentioned by the panel, Zach Hyman will not return to tonight's game. Craig and Chris, first periods on the road for Dallas continue to be an issue.
And that is quite a story. 83 shots on the road in the first period, and they have come up empty.
Well, and Pete DeBoer just been lamenting that fact in the sense that it means you're chasing the game all the time. And when you're chasing the game, you're more apt to make some mistakes, to be a little bit over-aggressive. And he was mentioning against this Oiler team, and especially against the McDavid line or the Draisaitl line, you're chasing, you get impatient, and you make a mistake at one end, they're coming back quickly at the other. I think it's really interesting how in a series a goaltender can really swing a game, can he? Not just a game, as he did in Game 3, and Pete DeBoer said as much. But right now, if you're a Dallas Star, you got to find a way to be determined enough to try to get one by Stuart Skinner. He has been razor sharp.
Well, they start the second period on the power play. 3 for 9 in the series. Those 3 goals, of course, coming in that third period of Game 1. Duchesne gains the line. Around it goes towards his, but a good stick by Janmark to send them back down the ice.
How about that message sending? Starting the period with Janmark and McDavid. McDavid's not usually the first guy out there, but that kind of sets the stage again. Your top player, get him out there, get him involved in this kill.
Rantanen back to Harley, returns to Rantanen, in the slot it goes. Johnston looking for Duchesne on that other side. Matt Duchene's got the puck. Thomas Harley, he shots, and it's deflected wide. Rantanen from the corner. Challenge there by Nurse. Puck goes around to the far side for Duchesne. Watched by Henrique. Out there now with Nugent Hopkins. There's a puck put on goal from a sharp angle. The Oilers up with the rebound and down the ice, and right back out comes McDavid. Challenge Thomas Harley, who turned away and now feeds it ahead. Janmark breaks that up. Here's McDavid working his way in. Hands it off, and they try to give it back to him, and didn't arrive back on the stick of McDavid from Bouchard. Now it's Granlund. He can't get past Bouchard. Fired across for Robertson. They tag up to get onside. Robertson gives it to Marchment. 3 shots, 7-shot attempt for Marchment. Seguin can't get him away. Now it's Granlund off the boards. Granlund hits tipped right on Skinner. And McDavid up with it. Out of the box comes Podkolzin. Oilers back at full strength. Podkolzin in the backhand. And Otker got tied up in front there. As going to the net was Janmark. Here's Kulak. 3 shots for Dallas. 0 for 2 now. Here in Game 4 on the power play. A chance there for Kane. And Oscar Beck up with it. We got a pile up in the zone here. And back comes Dallas as unpiling with Sam Steele and Corey Perry. Here's Steele picking off a pass at center. Sent in by Heiskanen. Steele ran into Klingberg. Around it comes, and Cece's gonna have to regroup it back at the Dallas line. Up ahead it goes, and that's turned over at center. Kane unable to cross the line. Steele fencing with Kane. And Kane up with that puck to Benn, took it away and lost it. Henrique shot, the rebound left in front. Blackwell turns with it. Here's Jamie Benn flying in. Benn trying to get it back to Blackwell. Turned over. Perry up ahead. Here is Frederick, and he's tied up there by Bischel, who took him to the boards. Blackwell drops it in from the red line, hits off. Long change second period. Skinner gets bumped and knocked down in the traffic there with Benn. Worked his way by him. Here's Kapanen in. Dropping that off. Stetcher with a shot, and Ottinger will hold on to that.
Well, a great start to this period here, and I really like Chris Knobloch's mindset of getting McDavid involved here early on. Why? Well, it almost pays off with a short-handed goal. He sees at the last second he's got Bouchard coming down, and maybe in retrospect might have kept that one. Granlund trying anything to get a little off shot. You know, that's not going towards the net. That's trying to get the high deflection. A couple of anxious moments here. Benn gets a little contact. Doesn't make much of it afterwards, but knew exactly there's Stuart Skinner going to make the play. And Chris here again, a loaded up line with McDavid on the ice yet again. So Chris Knobloch really trying to push it offensively here early on, get that next one.
Checking, Connor McDavid averaging 56 seconds of penalty kill time per game in the postseason. Might have 56.
I was going to say, he had it there, didn't he?
Back onto the stick of Granlund. He'll flip it high to the Edmonton line. Played down by Bouchard. Frederic along with McDavid. Back to Trent Frederic. Takes a look, takes a shot. Hit a stick and glanced wide and all the way back. It slides into the Edmonton zone. Bouchard with a little time. Up off the boards and played deep by Podkolzin. Arvidsson chasing after that. Ottinger got a stick on it. Around it goes for Janmark. Duchesne takes over and gives it back to Heiskanen. Thomas Harley at 8:40 of ice time in the first period to lead the Dallas Stars. Duchesne will try and get it deep on the backhand, knocked down by Nurse. Janmark played across for Arvidsson. Heiskanen there. Now Victor Arvidsson from the corner. Been noticeable in his return to the Oilers lineup. Marchment with an outlet. Here's Duchesne at center. Sidestepping Janmark. Dropping it inside the line. Sent back out off Janmark and played deep by Perry. Hero Heiskanen with the alley-oop to the line over Hintz. Robertson trying to catch up to it. Off Rantanen, and it does come out. There's Evander Kane. Corey Perry looking for Draisaitl. Holds on and now sends it in. Kane trying to tie up Roope Hintz. Draisaitl's got it. Hands it off. Klingberg's in. Klingberg deep in the corner. Behind the net for Kane. Oh, it's gone! And Perry unable to get a shot away. Draisaitl comes up with it. Here's Draisaitl centering it. And we've got a penalty coming up.
I think Corey Perry's going to get the call. The fans think it's going against the Dallas Stars. I don't think it was. I think it's Perry trying to get a little pick to allow the play to happen at the net. Now you'll get the reaction. You know, what a shift, though. You could sense that pressure on. You got to keep a play alive 2 times, and there's the little pick play of giving Draisaitl that little separation. You know, that's one where he lets him go. I think Draisaitl's got him anyways. Perry was going to make a change, but that's a route that you got to stay away from the body. The arm went up, and after a good push in the offensive zone, now the Oilers back on the penalty kill.
So the Stars 0 for 2. 3 for 21 on the road in this postseason. Looking for a game-tying goal here in the early stages of the second period. Sagan's going to get waved out. So Granlund will come in. Sagan will take his spot at the left point. Marchment along with Robertson and Harley. Edmonton controls the draw, and Kulak will fire it right back into the Dallas zone.
And right back with Janmark and McDavid again. He really liked what he saw from that pair, and so goes right to 15 seconds in.
Here's Mason Marchment. Slides it through for Granlund, back to Marchment. And Robertson had Sagan in front. Tipped it back. Robertson looking for Harley. Harley in the slot. Sagan drops it off. Granlund. Harley fires. Rebound. Sliding in the crease. Still loose. Marchment a whack at it. Taken away by Janmark. McDavid got hit there by Granlund. Back across for Robertson. And Skinner again. Back to Robertson one more time. Jason Robertson. Thomas Harley. Robertson down low. Whipped across for Granlund. Harley. Robertson from the slot scores. It's a power play goal for Jason Robertson.
Well, the best looking power play sequence Dallas has had all night, and just a scramble fest in front that somehow the Oilers able to get through. Look at the bodies in front of Stuart Skinner here. Makes the first save, gets the second, gets help from Bouchard. Another one right into the body. And after all the chaos in front, a couple of good passes, and one big shot through a screen. You could see Stuart Skinner's reaction, didn't pick it up enough. You know, Robertson's been a guy that's been under the gun, scored the only goal in Game 3, and then maybe the confidence from that just took an extra second and moved 3 feet to his left to change that angle and get it up and over Stuart Skinner. What a sequence for Skinner. He was up and down and rolling all around and made 4 good saves prior to Robertson tying this game up.
Harley Granlund, the assists on the power play goal. Robertson said he was not aware until after the game that he'd been given credit for the goal on Sunday afternoon. Pete DeBoer wondered if that might flip the switch for him. Getting on the score sheet now, 220 games, the game tied, and Dallas going back to work in the Edmonton zone. Keane an outlet, Nurse up ahead, and here's Draisaitl in center. Heiskanen, Rantanen, pass broken up by Nurse. Vander Keene looking for Kapanen on that right wing, knocked away to center. So the shot's 21-13 Dallas. And now the game tied at 1. Big hit by Kapanen. Played ahead, and there's Blackwell here with steal. Nugent Hopkins able to send it back to center. Henrique up ahead. Here's Trent Frederick in. Stops up, and now he'll cycle it down low. Lindell for Blackwell. Rantanen across, and Dallas is out. Steele flips it in, and he'll chase after it against Klingberg. John Klingberg looks away. Nugent Hopkins, his pass is broken up, and Seguin dumps it in. Big Wallman around. Frederick lost the puck. There is Matthew Shane off the boards. And that one off the Skinner. We're going to get an interference call the other way now.
Well, the fans would have erupted on that one. That's exactly the same play that Corey Perry just got called on. This time it's Mason Marchment. Similar play, setting a pick. Perry went down. The Dallas Stars scored. Now an opportunity with the penalty for the Oilers on the power play.
Well, there was a little boy who captured the hearts of the Edmonton Oilers and their fans. His name, Ben Stelter. Ben battled cancer with a smile and a song. Play La Bamba, baby. It has been and continues to be a theme for the Oilers. Dad Mike, Mom Leah, sisters Dylan and Emmy. Certainly miss him, and so do we. From all of us at Hockey Night in Canada, and certainly that includes Captain Connor McDavid. We wish a happy, heavenly 9th birthday to Ben.
Wonderful little guy who's left quite a legacy, huh?
Hard not to have fallen in love with Ben and his family, all they've been through, and really a bonding part for this Oiler team during that run in 22.
So the second power play of the night for the Oilers. Struck on their first. Draisaitl had the goal, unable to knock that down. Draisaitl, the 4th Oiler in history with 20 power play goals. Joining Wayne Gretzky, Jari Kurri, and Glenn Anderson. And here comes McDavid. On to Draisaitl. Beck out in a penalty-killing role as McDavid takes a lap in the zone, feeds back to Hopkins, and Hunter a piece of that. Draisaitl up with the puck from the corner. Back to Bouchard. Draisaitl holds on. Bouchard, no shot. Across to McDavid. Down to Nugent Hopkins. He'll score! Second power play goal, and the Oilers back in front.
Oh, it's a tap in by Corey Perry, but it's a thing of beauty. Just so difficult when you're attacking lanes with this power play. It started with McDavid driving the lane, trying a nice little around the net, and then Ryan Nugent-Hopkins again, showing all kinds of patience, all kinds of confidence. As soon as Cody Ceci lifted the stick, watch the patience here, fakes the shot, pulls it around, stick comes up, and Perry just barely got that one through, but look at his reaction. A brilliant play by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He's been the difference maker to this point in this series. Another multi-point game. 4th straight for number 93.
And 9 points in the series. Only Wayne Gretzky, more points in a conference final, and he did that back in 1988. Nugent-Hopkins the first with at least 8 points in a conference final. Since then, here's Hintz coming back, and he gets dumped. Penalty pending as Hintz crashes into the end boards, and that's a terrific penalty against Mattias Janmark.
Boy, it's one that you'll take, but Janmark's arguing here. He thought he got in and got the stick right away. You know, from the back pressure here, you're focused, just lifted the stick, and then Hintz fell through. Not sure so much it was so much of a trip on his feet, but a great effort coming back. Nice play by Rantanen to make it possible. So after a power play goal ignites this crowd, response here gives the Dallas Stars another power play chance.
All 3 goals in Game 4 scored on the power play. And Jason Robertson with the Dallas marker as they face off, looking to tie it once again. From the draw, they get it back to Harley. Here's Harley, it deflects wide. Skinner swimming a bit there as he got turned around in his crease. Granlund off the boards. He'll feed it back to Harley. First point of this series for Harley, a shot. And that would kick past Robertson, who gets it, or Marchment, excuse me, back to Harley. And here's Marchment. Down low, Robertson to the net. Skinner stops down. See Robertson's confidence gaining
as the puck comes out. He was trying to get Marchment out of his spot. He was trying to change places with him, ended up getting the puck and driving to the net with a good opportunity. Skinner had to be solid.
Early back in, Granlund leads it for Sagan. Back to Granlund in the corner. Pete DeBoer starting his second unit without Rantanen here. A big hit there by Granlund or on Granlund. Puck loose, and the puck cleared by Henry. Rogers got to come out to play that, but McDavid flying in and nearly stole that. Now the Stars with some speed. Wyatt Johnston to win. Rantanen out there now. Roope Hintz trying to turn it back to the line. Heiskanen sick with Duchesne across. Here's Rantanen holding, shooting. Skinner's got it.
Well, there's big moments in a game, and you can sense the crowd feels it as well. Robertson coming off his goal, gives him a little confidence. He takes the lane, what's there for him, tries to stuff it back, and then defensively, McDavid takes the body, knocks Granlund in, gets great support from Nurse, and then able to clear the zone. A little backhand, wait delay for Rantanen, and a shot that he didn't get much on, looking for a rebound. Stuart Skinner didn't leave him one.
Connor McDavid's over 3 minutes now. Penalty killing in this game. Dallas wins the draw. Back it comes to Heiskanen. And across. Duchesne back for Miro. Heiskanen firing it. Left blocked in front. And rips away. And bolting down the ice was Kulak. And now he'll peel back on a change. Final 15 seconds of the power play. Mikko Rantanen back in. Checked there by Podkolzin. In behind the net, Duchesne. Not able to come up with it. And the Oilers clear. The crowd tells you Janmark's back on the ice. Sam Steele trying to kick it deep for Rantanen. Back to Steele, looking to center. Knocked off the stick with Blackwell. And away goes Kane. And he's got Janmark. That knocked down. Good stick by Ceci with Janmark on the move. Back comes Steele. Couple of shots for him. Dallas, but unable to break through to get back on even terms. The puck bounces past Keane. And Harley in his own zone. Smooth skating Thomas Harley through center. Into the Oilers zone. Following up with the steal, unable to get a shot on. Sam Steele from the Wards. Back to Ceci. Shooting. Rebound. Knocked away from the foot by Stetzer.
Skinner felt it, but he didn't see it. There's right through the body of Ben. He's able to get a low pad on.
Here's Ben behind the net trying to center, but goes off Nurse. Ceci back in. Nurse up against Ben. Nurse did a good job of warding Ben off there, and out comes Edmonton with Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl's in. Holds and a sharp angle shot that Hopker stops. They don't clear. Kept in by Frederick, and that got through and right on goal. Up ahead, Seguin for Duchesne. To the line with Marchment. Stopped up there by Kulak. Here's Kulak. The lead feed. That's off the stick of Arvidsson. And up ahead for Marchment too far. And icing. Oh, icing wave.
The official said it hit him, so he waved off the linesman over there as O'Rourke said there was contact, so no icing.
Now Bichel back. Played for Seguin. On the move, Ben. He'll flip it in. Ben giving chase up against Bouchard and got a hit in there on the Oilers star defenseman. Up off McDavid. And again, Frederick will play it deep. You're joining us late. Zach Hyman left the game in the first period and is out for the rest of Game 4. Frederick knocked it out of midair. Kapanen fires it, and that'll get absorbed by Jake Oettinger. With 5:39 remaining here in the second, Evan Bouchard heated up about this hit from Jamie Benn.
The most absorbing performance brought to you by Sponge Towel. Nothing absorbs like it. Corey Perry trying to absorb this run-in with Mikko Rantanen. It led to a Jason Robertson power play goal. But kids, don't ever throw in the towel because Corey Perry responds on the power play. Frustration to elation. The highs and lows, and there are a lot of them, that happen in the playoffs and sometimes within one single period.
60th career Stanley Cup playoff goal for Corey Perry. It ties him with Doug Gilmour, Joe Mullen, and Brendan Shanahan.
With the absence of Zach Hyman, too, he suddenly becomes a more prominent player, too. And that's the beauty of what he's done all year. He plays up and down the lineup and can play with your top line, can play with your fourth line, and be a factor like he was there on the power play.
6 goals for Perry in this postseason. One shot off Liddell's stick, just missed. Here's Jake Wollman off the boards. And that hit somebody at the Oiler bench. And play is stopped.
This is our game. Rogers, Canada's home of hockey.
Join host Lisa Gilroy for the 2025 Canadian Screen Awards. Live Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern. Watch free on CBC Gem.
We talked about Dallas's inability to score in the first period. Well, it's been the second period in this series that the Oilers have dominated, coming in 5 goals compared to 1, now 6-2 on the series. You think back to Game 3, it was the late goal, 19 seconds by McDavid. Really the difference maker in that game, getting the 2-goal cushion back.
Well, it got even here with the Robertson power play goal, but it lasted for just 2:23. As Perry reestablishes an Edmonton lead. It's back out there, along with Rantanen and Robertson. And here is Robertson. Feed to the point, broken up by Nugent Hopkins. Multi-point games in all 4 of the Western Conference Final Four. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Robertson with a hit there along the boards as they scrum there. 4 along the boards, a couple more on the outside, and it's Bouchard getting it ahead. Up for Frederick, backhands that in. Oilers changing, you heard the instruction for CC to wheel. Blackwell in on the forecheck. Robertson follows. Here's Robertson, had it knocked off his stick by Janmark. That's puck fired across the goal mouth. Petrovic plays it in. Knocked away from Blackwell. And up ahead it goes. Off Arvidsson deep. Podkolzin on the prowl. And Podkolzin spun out on a nice turn there by Bishop. As Arvidsson tried to get it back, it played to center. And now Darnell Nurse works back in his own zone. 3.5 to go here in the second. And just coming onto the ice was Draisaitl. Play stopped.
That one leg was hanging down, so it's like the call we had earlier. It's like hitting a glove in the bench. No penalty, just the neutral zone face-off.
So they've traded power play goals. Robertson to tie it. Perry to give the Oilers another lead. Fifth career playoff goal for Corey Perry against Dallas. Of course, he's also played on playoff runs for Dallas, and look at that.
That is amazing, isn't it?
230th Stanley Cup playoff game here tonight.
Yeah, you look at the franchise that have been in so many Stanley Cups for a while. Corey won, of course, in Anaheim 2007, had 3 Stanley Cup finals in a row, chasing it. One with Dallas, losing 3 in a row. Dallas, Montreal, and Tampa, obviously last year, and he's looking to get to Stanley Cup final number 6.
A tie for 6th all-time in Stanley Cup playoff games played, along with Guy Carbonneau in game number 5 in Dallas. Here's Draisaitl in flight. Leon Draisaitl digs in under the stop. Back it comes to Klingberg. John Klingberg shot and goes off the leg and bounces out. And now maybe a break. Seguin, Duchesne, trying to get it back to Seguin and broke it up there. Klingberg turns the other way, knocked off his stick, but Draisaitl follows. And denied by Heiskanen. Draisaitl holds on. Stetzer off the bench. And the changeup is stopped by Oettinger.
That was like a little off-speed pitch that almost got him. How about Draisaitl? If you watch him, you're thinking as a defender here at Lindell, oh, he always likes to stop up. So you're waiting for that hesitation and delay. Instead, he keeps his head down and goes right by you. Great stick here by Wallman. Does a nice job. Didn't overplay it. Read that pass across, and you heard Jeff Jackson talking about not needing a stay-at-home defenseman, needing a mobile one, and that Klingberg-Wallman pair has just been excellent through this playoff run.
Wallman at 13:41 of ice time in the game and 3 block shots, and he leads the Oilers in the playoffs now with 40. So 2:31 left here in the second. Remember, 2 days ago when Connor McDavid scored with under 19 seconds remaining to make it a 2-goal Oiler pusher. Pete DeBoer called that the backbreaker. And McDavid out along with Nugent Hopkins and Perry as Kulak sends it around. Harley there. Pass for Ben. Unable to take that cleanly. And Nugent Hopkins comes back. Now the 5th player in Stanley Cup playoff history to have multi-point games in the first 4 games of a conference final. From in there, and Nugent Hopkins trying to dig it out. Wayne Gretzky's done it twice. Cam Neely, Craig Janney. The other players, along with Nugent Hopkins, who have been able to streak multi-point games together in a conference final. Evan Bouchard's got it. Walking the line, trapped there by Ben. Bouchard in deep. Bouchard behind the net. Trying to center in front. Perry tied up by Harley. McDavid will take over. On to McDavid with Bouchard. Ready to take a shot. Instead he'll pass off to Nugent Hopkins. Now Bouchard once again. Drops for McDavid. The playoff scoring leader again. Nurse, Bouchard. And that off a Dallas Star and onto the screen.
Man, I wish we had a heart monitor on Bouchard. It looked like it's not even beaten. I mean, he just has no stress. He's got such calmness in his game. Just not even overly skating, just buys himself time. You see Heiskanen just trying to, or Ben trying to stay to the outside and keep him there, but that confidence with and without the puck. You know, what a transformation he's made. You go back earlier in this period, he did a heck of a job killing penalties. You know, you lose at home, now all of a sudden Bouchard is playing a little bit more on the penalty kill and doing a fantastic job, but that's his bread and butter. Just such calmness with the puck, making good plays.
With Matthias Ekholm yesterday, he said right now Evan Bouchard's playing like the top 3 defenseman in the NHL. Hard to argue. Well, if you can't get enough sports, tune in to CBC Gym this summer for high-stakes competitive action in Northern Super League, Volleyball Nations League, and Grand Slam track Don't miss the excitement and watch free on CBC Gem.
And as you know, as a defenseman who plays big minutes, sometimes that causes calmness when things go badly, make it look like, oh, he's not trying. I mean, that's where the fans have had some frustration at times with him. But, man, you've just seen it time after time in this playoff run, the coolness to be able to shake off a check, buy a little extra time, and he just continues to produce at such an incredibly high level in playoff time.
Watching into the postseason, hard to imagine he won't be Olympic bound. That's kicked away by Ottinger, right onto the stick to Podkolzin. In and around for Draisaitl in the dying seconds of the second. Draisaitl and Wallman hold it in. Here's Jake Wallman sending it to the net. Ottinger steers that into the corner. Around to the other side, Victor Arvidsson. Late stages, Nurse fans. A break here hits. Dying seconds. Can't catch up at the end of a shift. And that's going to do it. So the two teams trade power play goals. In the second, Corey Perry has reestablished an Edmonton lead with his 6th after Jason Robertson had tied it with a man advantage for Dallas. Shots on goal through 2. 25-21 for Dallas. The Oilers lead the series 2-1. They lead game 4 2-1. Ron and company coming up with our second intermission.
Rogers, Canada's home of hockey. Canada, it's time to bring Stanley home. This is our game.
Great vibe in Edmonton once again tonight. Welcome to the studio with Jennifer, Kelly, and Elliot. The camera's about 10 meters, I'd say, in front of us, and the buffet is about 10 meters in front of David and Luke.
Not anymore. Dave's done with it.
How are you doing
There's no
there?
buffet anymore.
Oh, there's not?
No, Dave took it down.
Oh.
It's over.
Man's got to eat, Elliot. You know that.
Yes, I do.
Mac and cheese was pretty good.
It was pretty good tonight. Listen, the Oilers, they're liking this. This is a theme for them. They go into the third period with a lead, as they have in every game so far in this series. The bad news for them, Zach Hyman, as Elliot mentioned, not going to return with that upper body injury. And then this, Evander Kane getting worked on late in the second period. He finished up in the dressing room. So now you have two of their power forwards potentially out. Thank goodness for the 40-year-old savior, Corey Perry.
So a huge theme this morning at Chris Knobloch's Avails were guys getting outside of their comfort zone and adjusting and adapting from game to game. Talk about a guy like Corey Perry coming into this game, maybe not sure how much he's going to play, if he's going to play any special teams at all. Hyman goes down and he's ready to adjust that mindset mid-game and make that power play better. Here is it from game one after they lose. Say what you want about what he does here, but he will go down swinging for this team every single game. He's the heartbeat of their locker room, still playing this way at 40 years old. And here's the power play goal for tonight. Like I said, doesn't know he's going to be a part of this unit coming into this. They don't practice this a ton off the ice, but makes the adjustment physically and mentally. And it's a huge, huge goal for the Oilers. I asked him about his role the other day. He said, guys, I'll do whatever this team needs. Top line, bottom line, whatever they need. It's pretty good. 230 playoff games to have someone like that in your locker room.
He's putting the final touches on really what has to be a Hall of Fame career. Second oldest active player. Only Brent Burns is older. And now he's tied 33rd all-time, Ron, in playoff goals. And guess who he's tied with? Brad Marchand, another ageless wonder in the National Hockey League, gunning for another cup.
That makes Kelly and me feel a whole lot better, David. Thank you very much for that. Go ahead.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, I raved about him in the pregame, and once again, two primary assists on both Oiler goals on the power play, and you look at his body of work tonight and just continues to okay, here we go. And so this is a tremendous play by Nugent-Hopkins. Look off. I thought he was going to shoot. In fact, I think Ottinger did for a second there as well. And then on the power play again in the second, he got away from the traffic and then a perfect tape to tape. What kind of series is he having? Well, in this series alone, he has 2 goals and 7 primary assists. He hasn't even doesn't even sprinkle in a secondary assist, Jen. Just let's go all primary, right? It's unbelievable the series he is having.
Just a phenomenal performance. Now, you heard David and Luke talk about Corey Perry. Corey Perry has also made his imprint in this game in one other way. He made a play in the first period that I guarantee the officials looked at in the intermission and said, we're cracking down on this. A very smart pick. If you get away with it, there's nothing wrong with it. If they don't call it, it's not a penalty. But he tries it in period number 2, and this time they say, nope, this time it's a penalty. Mason Marchment said it worked for Perry once. It's not going to work for him once. It's too much of a coincidence. You know, Ron, you were official. You know that they were looking at that in the first intermission, and they said, we're not letting that go any further than we already did.
Kudos to Chris Rooney, just back in action, he and O'Rourke. That's good, Elliot. McDavid.
Okay, so Connor McDavid, and I think we all noticed his offense, but we're going to look at his time shorthanded in this game. So 340 on the penalty kill. In the first 3 games of this series, he only had 330 combined of those 3 games. So that's a real credit to Knobloch and thinking, okay, well, how do I adjust my personnel and get the most out of my players in different situations? So McDavid on the penalty kill in the first. I thought this was a key one here, starting the second. I mean, a little patience here while he waits, and then he's absolutely flying and buzzing. And you think you want to set the tempo. You know you're starting in a tough situation in the second period, and he's just buzzing around through the neutral zone, applying pressure, and that was constant, both in the middle of the ice and in the own zone. And from there, ends up generating this excellent scoring chance. I mean, Harley makes a nice save on that one, but creates the 2-on-1. So same thing, down low, making sure that he's rushing the Dallas Stars with some of their plays. McDavid coming in and being physical as well. So to me, you really noticed his speed. I mean, that was a huge hit that he lays on Granlund on the penalty kill. And this final one was up on Ottinger. And I mean, to me, I noticed him in the first period for his anticipation, generating offense. I mean, he has 4 scoring chances to lead the Edmonton Oilers. But to me, Knoblauch just recognizing, and he said that in terms of the penalty kill, just maybe we need to use our personnel a little bit differently. And McDavid and his speed has been very good for them tonight.
All right, Dallas's goal was a big one for a lot of different reasons, but also primarily because it came from someone who needed to score. Now, Jason Robertson did score last game, but if you watched his post game, by the way, this was a dynamite power play. They looked like the Globetrotters throwing it around, best they've looked. Last game he scored, he didn't even realize it. If you saw in the post game, they said, hey, you scored. He's like, what? They gave it to me? Not this time. Look at his reaction. Like, these Dallas guys, they need this. They need Robertson. They need Johnston, who's really struggling. They need Granlund. They need Marchment. They need Ben. They really need some of these other players to score. They're still down here. They need more of them to do it. But it was good for the Stars to have a player who needs to score actually feel good about himself.
Right at the end of the period, Craig Simpson used the phrase high-level play. And I thought right away of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And Connor McDavid kind of tipped us off, Kelly. He's got, as you said, the 7 primaries. This is the one, his second assist in the game Sunday. And here's that point. He is really focused on Nugent-Hopkins for the high-level play that he made. He is the high-level bridge between the thought and the torrent. 2-1, Oilers through 2.
This second intermission brought to you by Rogers, Canada's home of hockey. Canada, it's time to bring Stanley home. This is our game.
Stanley Cup playoffs on Sportsnet, presented by Instacart. Groceries that over-deliver. Last night, Carolina staves off elimination against the defending champions. Logan Stankoven, the 1-0 goal, stands up as the game-winning. Said, "This looks like Theo Fleury." Don't believe me? There's Theo with his white tape, diminutive, dynamite, right-hand shot. And here's a freeze frame of the two of them, Stankoven and Fleury. Dead ringers. That's tomorrow. We'll be back in Raleigh for game number 5, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific for Hockey Central on Sportsnet. The game itself's on Sportsnet and CBC. A look inside the calm Edmonton dressing room. Chris Cuthbert, Craig Simpson, Gene Principe. The third period is next.
Jones?
All episodes are now available. Watch free on CBC Gem. And we make a pitch because it is your last chance to get in on tonight's Oilers Kids in Oil Country Playoffs 50-50, presented by Rogers in support of Make-A-Wish Canada and the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation. The main jackpot, well, almost reaching $6.4 million. It continues to climb fast for tonight's big draw. The playoff jackpot at $5.5 million. Get your tickets now before it's too late at edmontonoilers.com/50-50. Meanwhile, Stats After 40 brought to you by Rogers, Canada's home of hockey. And the Stats certainly in favor of the Dallas Stars in every area except for one, and the most important one on the scoreboard. Matt Duchene, prior to Game 3, in a warm-up interview, spoke of the pride that the Stars centermen have when it comes to winning faceoffs. That's been on display tonight. So the return of Rupe Hintz has helped. We'll see if that continues in the third, Craig and Chris.
Gene, Dallas tilted the ice in the third period of Game 1. The Oilers did the same 2 days ago in Game number 3. And we start the third period of Game 4. Oilers with a 1-goal lead. Brandon on the ice. Johnston will hold the zone, and Luengo strikes on it. 2-on-1. pass across the 9 by Heiskanen. Big defensive play there by Heiskanen with Henrique loose. And now flip back inside the Edmonton line. After Sam Steele gets a hit in on Klingberg off the wall. A nice move by Rantanen. Shot high and just off the mark. Jake Walman feeds it ahead. Draisaitl at center. He'll dump it in, and it'll start an oil change here in the opening minute of the third. Thomas Harley for Cody Ceci. On that right side, that flips out of play.
Boy, Johnson trying to get it through to the front of the net. Gets knocked down here by Draisaitl. Draisaitl then all of a sudden looks back for it, but he's got the body position. So often he's able to saucer that one over. You can see the puck just rolled right at the last second as he flipped it over. Yeah, so he wasn't able to saucer that like he normally would right off the stick of Heiskanen. He's able to make a play that might have ended up in a tap-in at the other side. A little bit of a tough puck luck there for Leon Draisaitl.
Here's Nugent Hopkins sending that on goal, looking for his own rebound, and that's chopped on by Perry. Blake Nugent Hopkins has a pair of points in the game. Perry with a goal and an assist, and here is McDavid. And checked there on a good defensive play by Harley. Can't knock that down from behind the goal line. McDavid tried to send it in front. Dallas is out.
Maybe Harley a little Four Nations heads up there on that one. He's seen that before. As McDavid tried to put that puck to an area, just slide around him.
Here's Rantanen. Drops it back. That shot fronted by Bouchard. Away he goes through center. Evan Bouchard's in. And gets checked away at Podkolzin. Under a key stop early here. Just shy of 2 minutes in the third of Podkolzin.
It's already 3 good chances here. One of the Draisaitl 2-on-1. Now McDavid knocks this one down and just tries to attack quickly. Throw the puck between the stick and the skate. And Harley's seen that before. Does a good job. Once again, the patient Bouchard cutting to the middle, gets the puck stripped, but right on the doorstep, Podkolzin kind of lost his balance. His shoulders got turning, and once that happened, not able to keep under control to get the shot on goal.
They're smiling about Harley's response. Asked if seeing McDavid
helped
at Four Nations helped, and nope, no.
Not at all. Nothing helps.
Off the draw, Edmonton wins that one in the offensive zone. Stetcher puts it through. Kicked into the corner. Lindell taken out there by Kane. Worked along the boards and back past Stetcher all the way down into Edmonton ice.
Good to see Kane back there, as he said he had left a little bit before the end of the last period.
And came out late. That's the second time we've seen that in this series, where he has come onto the bench for the third period just before puck drop. Skinner fires that around. Heiskanen on it. He'll send it wide, and the rebound gets away from Seguin. Draisaitl trying to ward off the checking of Seguin. Following up, Podkolzin played that off the side of the net. Podkolzin with 7 hits in the game, so he's picked up the slack without Zach Hyman. Here's Victor Arvidsson. That's turned aside on a hot shot off the stick of Arvidsson. Back to the line, Klingberg. That goes off Ben. Ben knocked Klingberg down, and onto the puck is Blackwell. Back onto the stick of Walman. The pass across under the reach of Arvidsson. And Oettinger out to play that for Petrovic. Up at center, Ben with a short pass to Oscar Beck. The rookie's in, and that shot sails high and onto the screen.
Body Armor Hydration Drink with electrolytes, natural flavors, natural sweeteners, and no colors from artificial sources. Body Armor, the official sports hydration partner of the NHL.
Oh, Arvidsson, after 5 games in the press box, he's been noticeable in the just under 8 minutes that he's played, and I like this idea. You know, don't try to get too fancy. Good hard shot as a righty coming down that side. Tried to go under the blocker, but Oettinger able to get a piece of it.
Look looked like he was ramping up for the playoffs. He scored 5 times in the last 10 regular season games.
Also another guy playing his 82nd playoff game. You know, experience. It's not like you're putting in people that are raw to this intensity that is playoff hockey. That makes a big difference.
32 years of age. Been through a lot with the Nashville Predators. Here's McDavid, a backhand in front. Roger cleared that away from the on-charging Perry, who steals. Feeds back to the line. Kulak. That's turned aside by Ottinger. That got past McDavid, and Harley a bouncing puck that he can't sweep past Bouchard the first time. Now gets it deep. Sam Steele arrived first. Unable to control that, and McDavid will wind it up again. Just rolls it in this time, and Mikhail Granlund back. Up ahead for Johnston. That goes off a skate as Harley's pass hit Granlund. And ricocheted back. Ceci up ahead. Trying to stall for time for the change in the heavy traffic area around the Dallas bench. Rantanen plays it past Draisaitl and out. Wallman chased back by Robertson. He leaves Robertson in slipstream up off Kapanen. Well, they're going to call that icing off Kapanen from the Edmonton side of center.
Well, you talked about the face-offs where it's been Dallas that has been dominating. Here's a win in the defensive zone. These flip passes are so difficult for the defense to handle. You've got to keep your eye on where the puck is. You've also got McDavid and Nugent Hopkins coming right at you, and often that can create a chance. And it's McDavid who ends up getting that puck and getting a chance.
Another face-off win, and Heiskanen gets the shot on goal. That's the first for Dallas in the third. Edmonton with 4 so far in the third period.
Well, if you're Dallas, you have to think you have to take advantage of the face-off wins that they have been getting. Kapanen gets out there quickly, but just good elusiveness there by Heiskanen to at least change the angle and get it in. But Stuart Skinner, again, not only making the save, Chris, but no rebound at all. You try to get to the front of the net, look for a deflection or a rebound, just wasn't there.
There's Hintz winning one back, and Lindell's shot off a stick to the corner. Rantanen cycled that around. It will reach Hintz, bump back to Hintz, and around for Mikko Rantanen, looking for his first goal of this series. Here's Rantanen behind the net, trying to swing out in front, getting plenty of attention, and knocked down on the play. Podkolzin will take over and flip it away. Rantanen without a goal in his last 6, but has also figured in the last 6 team-winning goals that Dallas has scored. Heiskanen sends it in. Rantanen on the forecheck. Knocks down Kulak. Duchesne hits the deck. Marchment unable to control. Here's Liam Bichsel trying to get it to the net. Marchment hit a stick, got high off the stanchion. And now Janmark. Here is Kulak in. Swung across. And Keane was tied up there. Good defensive play by Bichsel. Janmark sends it back. Bouchard across. Kulak looks up ice. Victor Arvidsson over the line. Arvidsson coming in. Sprawls. Now play back for Bouchard. That'll bounce wide of the net. Sagan on it. Bichsel and Keane are exchanging shoves and slashes. And Chris Rooney lets them play on.
Well, you remember that if you get a little tap on the wrist and there's a call. Players will do whatever they can to think they can get away with it. Each guy's probably got the equal of each other on that.
The same goes for
they see the athletic if they wanted to.
Exactly. Nurse up the boards. Harley sealed the wall, but now Edmonton able to clear. Approaching 7 minutes of the third. I mentioned in the pregame show that Dallas 0 for 16 in the history of the franchise. Went down 3-1. Look out! Here he comes! McDavid speeds in and then turns back. Finds Perry, shooting, and Ottinger got a piece of that. Back in for Perry behind the net. And Nugent Hopkins to the line. Walman fired, blistered that. Just off a stick wide.
Perry got a piece of that one too. Man, two glorious chances. And I don't care how old you are, but you get an opportunity to play on a consistent basis with Connor McDavid. That's what you do. Here's the back and forth. Okay, just remember this as you go on. One takedown, I'm going to take you down. I'll give you a whack, you give me a whack. Nothing, no harm, no foul. And then McDavid heads up right in the slot there. Quick release by Corey Perry. A huge save there by Ottinger to get a piece of that one with his glove.
Perry over 13 minutes of the game. That's about his average in the postseason so far, but a lot of hockey left here tonight. Here's Kapanen. Mentioned Pod Colson, 7 hits. Kapanen was 6 through 2 periods to lead the way in the hitting department. Kapanen plays that in off Ottinger. He's getting ahead. And Lindell hands it back to Steele. Here's Granlund over the line. Johnston following up. Granlund knocked down, and they puck back to center. Steele unable to get it in. Kapanen heading to the bench, and he'll take down Granlund before he gets there. Oh, Heiskanen turned over. Podkolzin lost it, and Heiskanen recovers. Up ahead, Robertson, Rick wide, hits. Watched by Nurse, who got a stick on the puck to knock it away. Victor Arvidsson back. Sends it around behind the net. Petrovic cut that off. Up for Bishop. On the tape for Hintz. Knocked down at the line by Bouchard. Back for Arvidsson. Drops it off. Here's Janmark to the net. And a great recovery there. Defensive play made by Rantanen. Nice to see your star player make a defensive play like that. Nugent Hopkins tied up there by Petrovic. Rantanen trying to clear, and he does.
Again, just the inside play by Nugent Hopkins, and the confidence. Used his body to try to spin off and make that play. Wanted a little hook there, wasn't able to get to the front of the net.
Seguin plays it into the corner. Duchesne comes up with it. Trying to center it to Seguin. And McDavid. Corey Perry up for Nugent Hopkins off his stick deep, and it'll start a change. 9.5 into the third. Still a one-goal game. And the atmosphere is good as it always is here in an important Stanley Cup playoff game.
Walman using the net again to protect the puck.
And now Draisaitl in, looks across, just out of the reach of Kane. Dallas trying to turn it here. Steele ahead. Granlund over the line. He'll play it wide of the net. And Kane had it knocked off his stick. Klingberg back to Kane. And now they're out. Up ahead, Draisaitl. He'll send it in and now turn back. They're keeping those shifts short now in the third. Past 10 minutes. Jason Robertson to the attack. Robertson in and sends it around. Rantanen goes after that. Henrique absorbed the hit. Gets it ahead for Janmark. There's Janmark turning away. Speeding in along with Stetcher. Back! And that's off a stick and out of play. Well, they're waiting for Mikko Rantanen to make a big offensive play. At the other end, he makes a clutch defensive play. Well, there's a shot ahead here, midway through the third period, and we're going to have to talk about their defense again. They've allowed one Dallas shot here in the third period.
Yeah, it's really been the story of this playoff group. You know, ever since, Game 3 of the Los Angeles series, this is a team that can beat you a lot of different ways. And it's everybody. It's everybody being involved defensively. You look at the shifts that Janmark's just had going down there, Kapanen being involved, and they're comfortable playing in these styles. What it'll do for Dallas, it's going to force them to take some chances, force their D to maybe be overly aggressive, and that's where you try to take advantage of it back at the other end.
Shots are 8-1 Edmonton here in the third period with 9 minutes remaining in regulation time.
As Chris Knoblauch said, the best defense is offense, right? Keep it in the offensive zone, trying to protect the one-goal lead, and they've done a good job of it so far.
Also, Lindell sends it into the corner. Hayes get into deep. Robertson behind the net, looking to center, and a pile up in front. Brandon couldn't get his stick on the puck, and Edmonton gets it out. Perry redlining in to start another change.
Yeah, short shifts are really the focus here. I would say the same for Dallas. They got to get the speed and the energy of their game up to a little higher level here, trying to come from behind.
Ceci back behind his net. Draisaitl along with Kapanen and Henrique. As we've seen some different combinations without Zach Hyman. Oilers have played much of this game with 11 forwards. There's Harley. Lead feed swung in by Seguin. Skinner's out of the net. Around it goes for Henrique. Ceci stepped up on him, and now maybe got. Here's Kapanen through. Stetcher went to the net. Little tug there, but no call. Regroup back in the Oilers zone. Wallman. Lead feed. Janmark got a piece of that. Otker plays it away for Petrovic, and now Steele. Granlund from center. Around to the near side, Klingberg, and that's off Bichel and out. Arvidsson nearly came up with that. Up for Johnston. And now Arvidsson shakes off the check of Bichel. In, but unable to get a shot away. From the corner, it comes loose, played back to the point, and Keane wisely didn't touch it. It would have been close.
It was close, is right. Podkolzin was just getting to the bench. Not sure if he had both feet off yet, but a wise play there by Evander Kane to just let it go by.
Deflected in off Frederick. Otker plays it around Heiskanen. Sent to the near side. Lindell will get it deep. First to it is Rantanen. Off the boards, Robertson trying to follow up. Brandon tied up by Kulak. And well, the Oilers don't get it out until now. And here's 97 to work. McDavid across. Chance of Otker. Club stop there off Kane. Keeps it a one-shot game. Lindell from center. Flips it in. Under 6 left. And now the Oilers with a shot advantage. It's 29-27 Edmonton. Kapanen will steer it down. Ottinger out of the net with Draisaitl taking over. I don't think he saw him coming. But Dallas gets back on it. Harley bumped. Got it ahead for Rantanen. And played back Darnell Nurse. Troy Stetcher off his stick out in front. But helped out there as Draisaitl got back defensively. Here's Seguin behind the net. Cycling it back. Picking it up Duchesne. Looking to center. And it bounces across the front of the Oiler net. Seguin turns back. Takes a long look. Put it right on. And Skinner's got it.
Well, how do you defend a one-goal lead? You get your offense going. McDavid to Kane, and a big glove save there by Ottinger to keep it at 1.
Instacart, the winning way to get groceries delivered. And Stuart Skinner, since he came back into play after Calvin Pickard was injured, even with Pickard back as a backup, as a second netminder, it has been the #1 netminder that has only allowed 1 goal. 28 stops with just a few minutes left in period number 3 as he continues to be a big reason the Oilers lead and hope to add to their series lead.
80 stopped 86 of the last 88. There's a trip. Brandon dumping Draisaitl. And the Stars, with 5 minutes to go, are going to be shorthanded.
Well, I can tell you right now, on the mindset of the Oilers and McDavid, Draisaitl and company, it's the aggressive play by Draisaitl going back down for the puck, strips it here, does a good job, and then into the skates, knocks him down. Now is the opportunity to get that cushion that you need. You know, we always talk about power plays and percentages. They don't mean much if they can't win you a game at the right time. And this is the time for the Oiler power play. You see the look on Pete DeBoer's face that his penalty kill has to come up with their best now. They know what's at stake with just 5 minutes to go. Last power play, the Oilers were really aggressive, starting with McDavid driving the lane, trying to create some openings across the scene.
And 60% on home ice, 9 for 15 now, 2 for 2 in the game. And looking for one to put game 4 away. Draisaitl digs in on this draw. Perry, Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, and Bouchard, the usual suspects. On the near side, Draisaitl after it, cut off there by Steele, but battles to pop it in the air. Didn't hit a high stick. Nugent Hopkins kept it alive. Bouchard across, McDavid. Nugent Hopkins. The captain sizes it up. Nugent Hopkins to Bouchard. Back to McDavid downhill. In front. Perry tipped it wide. Fired to the line. Kicked in by Bouchard. Watched there by Steele. From the corner, McDavid. In behind. Draisaitl. Otner got a stick on that. Nugent Hopkins. McDavid. Bouchard. Draisaitl once again. And Otner able to shrug that, and it goes out of play.
Well, there's the sense of urgency you expected from this top unit. And, you know, it all goes through McDavid just trying to attack quickly, and this is one that he gets right through the legs of CC again. You saw Nugent Hopkins go through the stick the last time, and then on the back door. I'm not sure if that one got deflected right through or Ottinger got it. But that's another spot for Draisaitl that he often can score from. Chris Knobloch, again, the importance of this power play takes the time out, and Chris probably wisely so. 1 minute 2 to go. Get the little bit of rest, regroup, and try to get that 3rd goal.
Rogers is Canada's home of hockey tonight. Proud to celebrate the Stanley Cup playoffs with fans across the country. For Canadians, this isn't just a game, it's our game.
You know, amazing. You think special teams such a big part. And Connor McDavid has played 3 minutes and 40 seconds of shorthanded time in this game. That's the most that he's had all season long. And now on the power play, when you expect him to have, he's had more minutes on the penalty kill than the power play, but this last minute may be the most important one. Jake Ottinger, knowing as he watches the setup defensively, he can't allow another one in.
3 minutes of power play time for McDavid. 1 minute 2 still available here.
You can see that the Dallas Stars were going to be aggressive regardless there on their penalty kill. They weren't going to sit back and let the Oilers pick them apart, and I'm sure that's more of the discussion there. The fans know the importance of this.
Off the draw, won by Steele. Harley along the boards, and he'll send it 200 feet. Evan Bouchard kicks it back. Here comes McDavid over the line. Around it goes. Otner slowed up. Lindell with a chance to clear, and he does. Nice little back in. Lindell disrupting that, and Steele able to work it out.
There's that aggressiveness. As soon as the entry comes, they're swarming, trying to outman and stand up at the line. That looked to be offside.
Dallas without a shorthanded goal in the postseason. They had 8 in the regular season. As they sent it ahead, Blackwell staying on side was Johnston. Blackwell around to the other side. Ceci advances. Sends it in behind the net. Left there, and Johnston almost picked it off. Henrique regroups. Penalty done. Granlund returns. Dallas at full strength, but under 3 minutes left in the third. Down by a goal, and it shouldn't be long before Otter's out. Hits to work. And now Otter to the bench. So it didn't take long at all. Back it comes. Wyatt Johnston, that off the stick and out of play. So the face-off in the Edmonton zone with 2:35 to go when we come back. A face-off in the Oilers' own. Puck cleared, empty net. Kasperi, Kapanen.
Face-off win critical. Good box out on the side and a hang-time pass to nowhere. And Kapanen just skates right through it. You know the Stars are trying to attack on the lost draw to get there. That created a little separation. Role players again. Great execution off a defensive draw and a little bit of insurance with 2:15 to go.
The series winner against Vegas and a bit of insurance here. On a night where they won 36% of the draws, but win one to get the cushion they were looking for. Back in comes Dallas. Rantanen tries to center. Hintz follows up. In the skates of Rantanen. He's taken down. Looks for a call. None forthcoming. Jason Robertson, the goal scores for Dallas. Plays it back in behind the Oiler net. Up along the boards for Henrique. Henrique will double clutch and then sends it out of play at the Oiler bench. 87 seconds left on the clock.
Well, Chris, who says defensive hockey's boring, right? You know, that's been all the talk, is a team in Edmonton that was run and gun and back and forth. You're looking now to try to have 1 goal or less in 5 of their last 6 playoff games, looking to go 11-2 in their last 13. And for the Dallas Stars, the conference final, they're 1-5 in their last 6, Chris, and they're going to need a little bit of a push here to try to change that.
McDavid pulls it back. That shot wide, ricochets onto the stick of Seguin, up ahead for Duchesne. Oettinger cheating out of the net, but can't leave as the Oilers regain control. Might go now, though, as Seguin steals the puck and comes up with it, put it in front. Marchment unable to control. Seguin across for Heiskanen. It's fired across the goal mouth and back down into Dallas territory in the final minute here in Game 4. That one stopped up for the empty net. Scores! Adam Henrique adds to the lead 4-1 here in Game 4. To oust Dallas last year, they've won 3 straight to put the Stars on the brink. The Oilers have a 3-1 series lead in the Western Conference Finals. Skinner stopped 87 of the last 89. That's 977 and a 940 save percentage in this series. Front and center now, leading his team within a game of a berth in the Stanley Cup Final.
What an incredible journey it's been for Stuart Skinner, local guy, just incredible. And another huge night with another big win.
Let's go down to Gene.
Well, Chris Cuthbert's had 87 stops in your last 89 shots as a team. Craig Simpson, 5 of the last 6, 1 goal or less. What do you make of those numbers?
Yeah, I mean, not to downplay it, but they're just numbers. You know, it's about the win at the end of the day. It's about how the guys battle, how we compete, how we just keep on persevering, keep on battling, no matter, you know, what the numbers are.
What do you make of just the way things have gone after losing the first game of the series in a heartbreaking fashion, the way the team has responded?
I mean, it's amazing. We've been doing it for a few years now. where our response is, shows a lot about our character as a team. It starts with everybody. I mean, you can name every single guy, you can talk about every single guy and how hard they battle, and just the way we compete every night.
I think they just named you a star. I'm not sure. But hey, let's go, Gene. Yeah, sorry. Listen, I know you hear them. Okay, sorry, everybody. Yeah, they'll give you. They're chanting your name. You've heard that before. Have you heard them tonight chanting, "We won the cup"?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I can barely hear your questions. It's so loud, right? I mean, it shows you our fan base, how much they care, how much they love hockey. I mean, Edmonton is all oil. It's fun to play here.
Stuart, thank you. You're not out of time, but I am. Enjoy the victory.
Thanks. Appreciate you, Gene.
What a night. The fans in an uproar here, as you'd expect, and now hoping the next time they see their team will be in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Still some work to do. Game 5, Thursday in Dallas.